beautiful Pisces, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I've just brought back the competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, but I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here just for the reading and I don't like to waste anyone's time. So with that in mind, let's get straight to your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Pisces, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Pisces? What do they need to be aware of at this time? Can you please show them the way? What are they moving through? What lies on the other side? What do they need to be aware of in their personal circumstances? We have the Emperor energy, so you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders right now. You are duty bound, you're showing up for yourself, bringing your A game, focusing on what you perceive is success. You're working towards something and you're establishing yourself in some way. This can indicate that you need structure in your life or you're working with some sort of structure at this moment in time. And I feel like you are trying to take ownership of things in your life, guide them in a certain direction. We have the Two of Swords energy. This is crossing. So it can be that you don't get a moment's rest or you need some quiet time. It could also be that you're trying to quieten the inner critic in some way to try and build yourself up, have more confidence within yourself rather than, you know, let that inner critic tear you down, overcome any anxiety. You know, the Two of Swords is an energy of feeling a little bit in stalemate in some way. You may feel a little bit stuck in a certain position in your life and you're taking leadership right now in order to look at your options and perhaps build the life that you aspire to achieve. But I definitely see here with that Five of Wands, there may be a little bit of an inner battle, but also it can be that you're doing some sort of gear shift in your life right now, and you may be finding it challenging. You may feel that there's different compartments of your life that are at odds with each other. So for example, if you are working really hard on your career, it can be that your love life is not going as well as perhaps your career, but also it can be the other way around. The Five of Wands indicates although you're having a gear shift, it is all going to come together, okay? So I feel that you are aligned with your sense of purpose, and I feel there is an energy of soul searching. You know, Seven of Cups there can be that you're searching for purpose in all of these things. It's like, you know, you have a lot of knowledge in life, you're an old soul, but you're seeing the world in a different way right now, and you're questioning that way. I mean, the Emperor can be that you're literally questioning structure itself, governing bodies, the world at large, the people who run society, for example. Can be that you feel society has lost its soul, that it's really stuck right now, it's losing its way, and it's triggered you to focus on your own sense of purpose, your own belief system, you know, what is true to you, what's important to you at this time. So there's a lot going on with you right now, my beautiful Pisceans, and I feel like you're trying to lock onto your vision of, you know, what you aspire to achieve, and it's hard right now, but I feel like you are invested and you are, trying to create structure and I would say security. You're taking responsibility for your life. A lot of you with that King of Pentacles there, you're trying to lock on to more abundance, structure your way in order to be stricter with your finances. For example, how would you like to receive? Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles here and the Ten of Pentacles. I'm loving that. Whatever you're investing in at this time is going to bear fruit. It's going to be very exciting for you. A lot of you, this can be family responsibility right now that you're locked onto, that you are someone who is caring for people around you. You could be a main breadwinner in your family or in your relationship, for example. Or it can be that everything that you accomplish, you will share it with the people that you really care about there. But it can also be that, you're investing in your life in a different way. Some of you, it could be that you're trying to be really strict with yourself in order to go into real estate or buy a property, a home. You could be searching for where you feel like you belong right now. But these are all things outside of yourself, okay? So I feel bringing it back to you, there is this kind of like heavy responsibility on your shoulders right now. And the Two of Swords can indicate it's been difficult. It can be that you are someone who is very independent, very decisive, because that's the core of your reading. That's the foundation of you. But it can be that it's been really hard to move through this particular period right now, and it's been challenging, but it actually is the door to more. It leads to more potential, more possibility, and the vision of what you are aligning with, what you aspire to achieve. I feel like you're ending up in harmony with your heart's desire there. And the Three of Wands is very exciting because it means, you are expanding on opportunities, you're opening yourself up to more, you're paying attention with what you desire to achieve, and you may be observing with a lot of patience the way things are headed and sort of lining things up in your plans right now in order to lock onto something. Three of Wands actually means something turns out better than you expect it to. So I'm quite excited about that card there for you. It says looking ahead, expansion, rapid growth. And I feel a lot of you, when you bring it back to your own energy, you've been going through radical change and rapid growth right now, okay? And it can be feeling very hard when you feel like, you're outgrowing a part of yourself in order to become who you are right now, and you're detaching from a lot of things, because the Two of Swords is a card of detachment, okay? And the foundation card is the Emperor. So it literally says here, structure, ambition, authority. You're taking charge, leadership in your life. You are showing up for yourself. You're bringing your A game. And for some of you, you could be a parent and you're guiding the next generation, for example. And with the Judgment energy, you may be reflecting on your childhood, reflecting on how you are presenting yourself, leading by example, as it were, with this card. And it can be that, of course, there is a fine line between guiding the next generation and allowing them to discover their own way. So a lot of you could be right now at odds with that within yourself, or perhaps, if you are guiding teenagers, for example, there's a bit of challenge, butting heads there. And it can be that you create a space where they can confide in you and actually come around to the knowledge that you have their best interests at heart. But you've been there, done that. You've got the t-shirt. You've got the experience with the Emperor energy. So it can be that you see the pitfalls of life because you've already experienced them, or you've witnessed them, other people, going through them, and you just know. And it can be that with that guidance, there is this authoritative energy of like I've experienced this, okay? The Emperor is a card of experience. So if you are a parent and you're guiding the next generation, of course, I feel like the way you're guiding, especially since we have that Five of Wands, there is this deep down sense of wanting to be stricter. But the Seven of Cups is like to be a little bit more open to allow them to see options. It's like, okay, look, I've been through this. These are your options. Make your own decision because you are an independent entity separate from me. Although you've come from me, you are separate from me, and you're finding your own way. And I feel that's where the peaceful middle ground will be, of course. Easier said than done, I know. Three of Swords can indicate some of the choices that they make. You may not be happy with those, and there may be a little bit of an inner conflict or battle there. But ultimately, I feel, there is a very strong, tight structure there, and, you are loyal to this person. And I feel by allowing them to make their own way, for example, make their own decisions, then, of course, they'll always return and they will realize that, yes, you have the experience and you gave the guidance, and then they'll know that you were right. But also there may be moments where both of you are right, perhaps, and there is a balance in that. So, of course, not everybody's a parent, but that message had to come through. I feel it's very important. If you are a parent, you're doing a great job. Because I feel a lot of you, you're not just saying, these are my rules, this is my way. Because we have the Five of Wands there, it can be that, yeah, there's a different opinion there, or there's a clash of personalities, and you're aware that it's challenging your belief system as well. If you were brought up in a very strict upbringing, it can be that you're trying to govern with structure, but at the same time be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open. This is a card of, letting things be in the flow, be flexible. So it can be that, yes, there's a little bit of an inner battle if you're a parent, okay, but you're doing a great job. And I feel that, the next generation that you're guiding right now is actually very purposeful, very intelligent, someone who's committed. So I'm just going to leave that there. There's a lot of success in the future, in their future, and of course in yours. But of course, not everybody is a parent, but that message had to come through there. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to disconnect. Pisces, your energy with the Emperor indicates life got pretty serious over the last couple of years for you, and you may feel that you lost touch with that playful side in and amongst all the responsibilities and duties that you have, and you may feel a little bit stuck, okay? Now, of course, the Emperor, as I mentioned, can be structure. It can be that the structures, the governing bodies of the world has changed some things, and it just feels very confusing, like what is going on there. So you may be kind of searching within all of these crazy times that we're in really putting your sense of purpose into review, because this card can be, to stop, to pay attention, take a break, consider your options, and find the perfect answer for you. You're trying to protect your inner peace in and amongst all of the rules, regulations, and the changes that are going on in the world at large. Because, of course, we live on our own terms locally, but we also factor in what's going on in the world, what's going on in our neighborhood, our countries, and things like that. So it can be right now that you're witnessing things that just feel like they don't make sense, because the Two of Swords can be a little bit of confusion, or like, I can't see where this is going. I need to tap into my intuition and make sure that I protect myself, or I dig a little bit deeper in order to see what I feel is ahead. But actually what it's doing is it's triggering you to align more with what's important to you. Come back to the core of your own soul and, go through this awakening where you question a lot of things. Two of Swords is to question a narrative or see beyond. But also it can be that, you want more of a purposeful life, or you feel that certain structures right now, they're hindering you instead of helping you. And this could be a structure that you've built in your own life. It could be a routine. It can be something repetitive, something that is a sense of duty that you're not going to shirk. You're still going to adhere to your sense of responsibilities. You're still going to be duty bound because those energies are there. But I feel like you're opening up to more. You're aligning yourself with this sense of freedom to explore, highly explorative time for you. So it could be that you're trying new endeavors or wanting to encompass something new into your life in order to kind of dissolve the humdrum, the cycle repeat, the groundhog dayness of life. So this could be a hobby, for example, or you traveling to new places, or, seeing new faces. The Three of Wands can be traveling. It can be an energy of seeing beyond something. It can be you being very creative and expressive and going through this period where you're outgrowing a lot of situations or people or scenarios that you feel do not resonate with who you are right now. But it says here, difficult choices, indecision, and stalemate. So perhaps, you have some challenging choices to make right now. But that Three of Wands tells me, although it's difficult, you're locking on to what your heart truly wants. And you're going to make a head and heart balanced decision. And I feel like you are making the right decision. So I want you to be aware of that. Now, Two of Swords, of course, can be an energy of taking stock, removing yourself from a situation in order to have a conversation with yourself or really find more balance in your world. I mean, this card can indicate, of course, in the crossing position, because you read it in the reverse as well as the upright. And the reverse is a very confusing, message or confusing time that we're living in, or it's like you feel mentally overwhelmed at this time and you're looking at your options and you don't want to compromise the things that are important to you. So therefore you're stepping further into your sense of purpose, your belief system. It's underlining your life philosophy and how it connects to the world. You're reaffirming who you are, what you stand for, and you're confronting the things that matter right now. And that Two of Swords really makes you dig a little bit deeper and really contemplate, really think about who you align with, what you align with, what's important. And of course, the Two of Swords can indicate there's a lot going on right now. So you are trying to protect your inner peace, come back to the very core of yourself and the truth of you, basically. Also, if you have been having conflict with anybody, I mean, I don't see any conflict here. I mean, the Five of Wands can be a challenge. Someone challenges you, whether that's your belief systems or whether that's a clash of personalities there. You know, the Two of Swords can be a mediation, a head-to-head, a conversation where you find reconciliation, okay, or where you find balance and understanding of each side. So I do see that, you know, you could be moving on from a challenging conflict, for example, and whether that means that you're resolving it with the person in order to have them in your life moving forward, or whether it means you're distancing yourself and, you know, becoming more independent, for example. I feel like you're following the course of your heart, and your heart, of course, knows the way. Now, Two of Swords as a crossing position, this can indicate with the Emperor that you're showing up, you're taking action, you're leading, you're doing it all, but somehow you still feel like you're at the same place, or it's not that you're banging your head against the wall. It just feels like things are challenging right now. It just feels no matter what you do, you feel like you're moving through mud with this Five of Wands. You're exhausted. You're challenging yourself. For some of you, you may feel like life is a training ground, for example. I mean, this could literally be that you're putting yourself through a course of learning, or you're challenging yourself, you're in training, for example. But whatever it is that you are currently training for, it's all going to come together. Whatever it is that you feel is a challenge, it is all going to align and come together. Five of Wands, I actually kind of like the Five of Wands. Of course, it comes before the Six of Wands, which is all about success, victory, being seen, understood, and celebrated. But the Five of Wands is, you know, the journey it took to get there. So I feel we must try and enjoy the journey as much as possible, because of course when the victory comes, we can have a moment where we pat ourselves on the back and think, job well done. But as humans, we're always on to the next. Enjoy the journey, I feel, is a major message coming through right now because of that Two of Swords of stillness. This can be, you know, you need to find some more quiet time. It can be that you're going through a bit of an inner battle there. But the Five of Wands is always an energy of like trying to make something work. Okay, and if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's 5 figures on the Five of Wands, and you know, it can be that there's different components of your life right now that feel very much at odds with each other. Like you may want to focus on your home life. A lot of you are with that Ten of Pentacles, and it can be that you're like, okay, I love my home, but perhaps my neighborhood is changing, and you feel a little bit at odds with that, or maybe you feel the country that you are currently residing in does not yield as much financial prosperity as perhaps somewhere further afield. With that Three of Wands, you could be looking abroad for other opportunities, or maybe different places to reside in, for example. It just feels like you're conflicted about something, okay? And I feel that there may be a process or steps that you need to kind of move through before you get to the destination point of whatever that is. Now, it doesn't have to be any of those things. It can be that you've locked onto a vision, you're actually moving towards it, you feel a little bit stuck, maybe the information you want isn't there or as readily available. Like, for example, you have Ten of Pentacles and the Emperor there and a Two of Swords. It can be that you're trying to structure things like generational wealth, or learn how the wealthy retain their wealth and make money work for you rather than you work for the money, for example, because you have that King of Pentacles there. So it can be that there is information that is denied to the collective. People like us, for example, who are not born into wealth per se. It can be that there's certain, you know, steps or certain knowledge that you have to go seeking, or perhaps find advisors. The Emperor can be an authority or an advisor on something that is like professional advice or something where they're qualified to give advice. So it could be that you feel the information is not readily available and you're digging a little bit deeper. And you may find that there's conflicting ways of running something or structuring something. And you're like, oh, there's just so much information, brain overload. Which one do I choose? Which one is right for me? And you're like, it's just a lot. So it can be that there's so much out there, conflicting views, but ultimately in your search, you will find what is right for you. You actually find the right path. We got the 3 of Wands there. So it can be that it's literal. It can be that there's perhaps 3 lines of inquiry that you think, okay, that suits my situation. And then 2 of them, you're like, no, that's definitely not what I want. So you can like kind of cut out 2 paths. So now you've narrowed it down to 3. And now as you go towards these 3 paths, you explore it a little bit further. And because we have the Judgment card, after a period of judging the situation as to what path is right for you, one path appears and you're like, that's it. But you're in a period right now, I feel, that you're looking at your options on something. Okay, now again, it doesn't have to be generational wealth. It can be like property. You're looking at lots of different properties and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a great one. This is not so great. This one's great as well. This one's cheaper, kind of has all the things, but you know, which one do I choose? Because you have that 7 of Cups is like choice, and it is your choice. And the 2 of Swords says, sit with your options, weigh them all up. All those hands, you know, this can be that there's many different kind of things for you to think about right now. I mean, in your life in general, I feel right now you have a lot on your to-do list, a lot on your plate right now, and you're just trying to go through a process of juggling all those things. And the 5 of Wands, it's a challenge, whatever that is. But I see a lot of you, whoever I'm connecting to in this moment, you need to make a decision. And this decision is going to benefit you, and actually you get the best out of the situation. But even when you make the decision, it feels like there's still a little bit way to go on it, but you're aligned, and you're aligned with success. Okay, so trust your intuition on the thing that you're deciding right now. A lot of you may be like, okay, I don't have anything to decide right now, but perhaps with that 7 of Cups in time, you know, shortly, there will be a decision you have to make. Trust your gut instinct, sit with self. The answer often comes in silence. Protect your inner peace. This card literally means if you sit in silence, tap into your inner wisdom, the answer will appear for you, and actually you'll see that there's no threat in the situation, there's no misstep, there's no fly in the ointment, as it were. Okay, 2 of Swords, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, I do reference this deck because it gives a pictorial kind of image of what the card means. There's a figure there, 2 swords up, very guarded, like, okay, nobody talk to me. I need to just talk to myself about something. I just need no distractions right now. And the history of that card is that that figure is about to go to the island in the background, uncharted territory, but there's 2 stepping stones, so there is a process. And it can be that, you know, you're trying to find your way to something, to a destination point. That will be a successful point that you want to get to. Could be any point. Please apply it to your situation. But there's a process, and you need to think it through before you make that process. Now, the figure has the swords up, meaning, you know, it feels very uncertain. Humans, when we feel uncertain or daunted or anxious about something, we feel like we need to defend ourselves, right? So it can be, if you look at the picture on that 2 of Swords, the sand is calm. The water is calm. There's no threat. There's nothing to doubt. There's a process. Think it through, and the right path will apply to you, and you'll take it, and you'll get to where you want to go. But you must quieten your mind. So it says here, competition, conflict, and reality. Now, in terms of world events, some of you may be like, okay, our version of reality has shifted or changed in some way. It feels like the world is a little bit upside down. There's a lot of conflict there, and you're trying to find out the truth in the noise, as it were. But I feel your truth in the noise is your truth. So that 2 of Swords is kind of coming back to the center of you in all of this conflict in order to find your sense of purpose and what you believe, but also, you know, how you should conduct your life in order to be all-encompassing, to feel safe and secure. And with that 5 of Wands, I feel like you're aware, you're the student of life, you're learning as you go, and we are here to experience. Whether we make a misstep in our world, in our life, That is an experience, so we learn from. It's not a failure, it's an experience, a moment where we learn how to do something different or better or in a different direction. We learn. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. It's a learning curve, okay? Now, I don't see you doing anything wrong here, and I don't see you misstepping. I want you to be aware of that. The Three of Swords is in your hope and fear position. So it can be that, you fear sadness, you fear failure, you feel this sense of like anxiety. For some of you, it can be that you feel heartbroken by a conflict that you're having with a person and you're not even sure whether you want to resolve it because the Two of Swords is in the crossing position. Right now, you may be just sitting in silence, kind of contemplating, judging the situation from all different angles in order to kind of like I'm okay. I'm living my best life. I'm just doing me. And if it's meant to be resolved, you'll find a way to resolve it. A lot of you with that Three of Wands, you're not looking back. So if you have had some sort of conflict with a person that is outside your family unit, for some of you, it could be that you are moving on from, this period of detaching from friends or people that perhaps you feel like you once knew. The Five of Wands can be that you're conflicted with this, but you feel detached somehow with that Two of Swords. A little bit like lost, like how did the dynamic change? How am I evolving away from this person? I thought this person was my ride or die. For some of you, you could have witnessed this over the last couple of years or months, and it just feels like you're making different choices. And I want you to be aware that a lot of you, if you're experiencing this right now, it can be that when you're making different choices that align with you, you're not abandoning yourself, you're choosing you. But sometimes, especially if people have certain expectations of us, living our lives in a certain way, suddenly you'll notice people abandoning your choices. They will distance themselves from you, or, you learn that if a person is your friend and they can have conflicting views and you can debate it, hash it out, you can be in conflict, but your ride or die is your ride or die. In fact, ride or die people are the people who call you out and say, actually, I think you're wrong, and debate it with you. It doesn't really break the friendship apart. You'll still have that core where there's a respect, there is a togetherness, there is an energy of okay, you don't believe what I believe, that's cool. So we can find a middle ground in some way, because these two cards can be that, yes, you have differences of opinions, but at the same time, the people who are meant to be in your life will honor those differences and, give you and you give them a platform of freedom of speech, as long as you're not hurting anyone, of course. And, this can be that you are exploring how another person thinks, but at the same time, you just move on from it. You're like, it's not going to change the friendship or the relationship unless, of course, you feel it's so radical that you're like, okay, I can't have that in my life anymore. Some of you may be dealing with that right now, but it could be that over time, there's just been a slow drip of change where you're evolving and moving away from certain people because you are going through an awakening, or you have a realization, a revelation about somebody. I mean, all of your cards indicate reflection on a situation, an awakening that you're going through, a radical period of personal development and growth, and that can often be a very isolating experience. When you start to make different choices in life, or you awaken to a new world or a new part of yourself, suddenly you find yourself free from all the constructs, because you're starting with the Emperor, which is all about structure. So it can be certain structures you had in your life. You're kind of thinking differently about those things and breaking free. And that can literally be that you're trying new things, traveling to new places, trying new hobbies, exploring new foods. It can be just radically different things for yourself. But also it can be you're shifting away from certain groups of people or, ways of life. And you just feel it's a little bit confusing or discombobulating how people are not growing with you. So I feel a lot of you are kind of looking at your life right now as to what it once was, because this is a card of investment, of duty, of course, of building something or having built something. And we've got, abundance, prosperity, and providing. But I feel this is something that is traditional, solid, and true in your life, and it's in the past. So it feels like something or someone who was a ride or die kind of person in your life, it feels like you're outgrowing because you're starting with the Emperor energy. But a lot of you, this could be that you are maturing and outgrowing a part of yourself, and you're just feeling things are different. Hobbies are hitting different. Situations just feel different. Even areas, a lot of you may find that you are craving quieter environments. You may feel, even if you're a city person, you may be like, okay, I love the city, love the buzz. Like I grew up in the city, I love it. I love that electricity, that vibrancy. But as you start to awaken and mature, suddenly that becomes a little bit like, oh, wow, that was loud. Oof, it's a bit crazy energy now, frenetic. It just feels like, and then you're asking yourself, has the environment changed or have I changed? And I feel a lot of you are going through this right now. Now, of course, this may not resonate with all of you, but I feel like you're questioning, is it that's changed or them that's changed, or is it me that's changed? And I feel it's a bit of both because the Two of Swords is there. But bringing it back to practicalities, the King of Pentacles can be that your focus is all about finances, abundance, security for you and your family, and, just being practical about life. And you got into a structure where things got serious. You just got practical because life demands that of you. Especially over the last couple of years, the world has kind of turned on its head a little bit. Always been a bit crazy, of course, but it's really ramped up that level of craziness or circus activity, for example, in the world. And you may be trying to find your place in all of that. And you may feel that you had to just get really serious about life, about your sense of purpose, and it felt all-consuming. But now I feel like there's something else happening here with you right now where you're awakening to other possibilities because you're doing a lot of questioning. Two of Swords is a questioning card. And of course, your potential position is the Seven of Cups. Lots of opportunities are opening up for you. This is a period to use your imagination. If you can think it, you can have it. You can literally have it in your hand. Thoughts become things. And the Seven of Cups is like, how do I feel about this? What is my vision for the future? We can have many purposes, we can have many paths, and I feel right now that you are looking at the many paths and you are embracing some and you're letting others fall away right now. The Seven of Cups is an energy of feeling a little bit scattered in life and trying to get structured in order to be focused on something that really matters for you. And if you feel like we've started living in a world where, we're bombarded by information and you should be doing this and how can you get more money over here and click this link because the world's about to end in 30 seconds and all of this, it just feels like it's overwhelming. Okay. So I feel like in all of this, you're looking at the bigger picture, but also you're trying to zoom in a little bit more into what's important for you and not be scattered and actually see these options as something that empowers you, the doors that are opening up. Don't feel daunted by a decision. It means you got options. So I feel, it says here, searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. Now, of course, the Emperor energy can indicate that you're literally turning a daydream into something that is real. You're aligning right now with a vision. I love it, my beautiful Pisceans, because you are a visionary. Some people, they've called you the dreamer of the zodiac. And there's almost like a negative spin on that sometimes. When you go to class when you're younger, and I certainly had it on my report, that I'm a dreamer. I was always like seeing visions. I didn't know what they were at the time, but I was always looking out the window, and suddenly like I had like a whole movie in my mind of what my life would aspire to be. These were visions, of course, that I wanted to happen, but I saw them as if they were actually real. Then they became a reality. Remember, thoughts become things. And the first point of manifestation is seeing the vision. Then you feel the vision as if it's happening right now, or how you would feel living that life. And then it becomes your reality. So you being the dreamer of the zodiac, whenever someone says, oh, they're just a dreamer, yeah, that's great. Because, structure and authority kind of limit that ability to be freer, to imagine all the possibilities. The Emperor can be, there's one way. There's a structure. follow the structure. And I feel right now you're going, actually, let's move outside of the structure, because I feel like a lot of you have been there, done that. You'd followed a structure, but you just want to be freer in your decisions. And this card, it just feels like you're imagining all the possibilities. You're turning those possibilities into your lifestyle, into your life choices, and into reality. I feel right now you're in a very explorative time, okay? And I feel whatever it is you're exploring, you're aligning yourself with those options. So do not dismiss all those visions that are coming to you. You know, remember that your superpower is that you are a visionary, because you're seeing the bigger picture. And that Judgment energy, this is a card of, you know, your sense of purpose, pushing on through, revelation. It is a card of a wake-up call. A lot of you, this can be an awakening, that suddenly your imagination is starting to run wild and all the possibilities, but you're locking onto something that really brings you joy, that, you know, helps you step into exuberance in your life. This card is also a card of renewal. So if you feel like you've been under a lot of responsibility, things got pretty serious, and you feel like you've lost touch with a part of yourself, I feel like you're reconnecting to this softer side, more sensitive side of you. And I feel this is a card of you awakening to your own self, to come home to self, to realize that that is your superpower, because you are the visionary. Okay. And it says here, reflection, reckoning, and awakening. Now, of course, as you can see on this card, there are steps that lead in a certain path. So if you're questioning a way of doing something, I feel like you're finding the path that is right for you. And this card also indicates that, you know, you're doing something where you're reaching for more. You're upgrading your life in some way, or you're holding yourself to higher standards. And it means letting go of some things in order to grab onto other things. So I feel like you're listening to the call within yourself. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Judgment card literally sees people standing in coffins, you know, putting their arms up, and there is an angel trumpeting. So this means you're listening to the call of something that you're outgrowing in your life. The coffins represent, you know, a part of your old life is over, or is changing, or you feel you've got closure on, or you feel it is limiting in some way. You're awakening to something more that has possibility, and you're listening to that call within your soul. And you are moving through this cycle of purpose towards accomplishing that goal, whatever it is. So this could be, for some of you, a new path or a new calling for something, but you're going to be secure in whatever it is you decide. But we have that Ace of Pentacles. This is your advice to yourself in this moment position, to start something new, to look at potential rather than what could go wrong, for example. It says here, opportunity, prosperity, and new adventure. So a lot of you are in that explorative stage. Try something new, or open yourself up to a new avenue, invest in something. Now you do have a lot of pentacles here, so a lot of you could be investing money in something, whether it's real estate, whether it's acquisitions. I mean, I don't know anything about stocks, shares, and things like that. Always get advice when you're doing something like that, because of course it's very risky, especially with some of the dips that are going on right now, but always get advice, okay? And the Emperor can be someone who has an authoritative kind of position to give you that advice. And you want to make sure that if you're setting something up with your finances, you don't want to misstep. So getting good quality advice is important. But, you know, this Ace of Pentacles, as you can see, there's two beautiful tigers there. I feel there's an ambition there for you to do something. There's a fire in your soul to get either started on something, launch something. You know, an ace is basically a resource that you can plant that will have a lot of potential. It can be a financial resource. It can be your energy. It can be that, you know, you are invested in something, or you're investing in something right now that will literally change your life. So you could be investing in training. You know, personally, this is always my Jinn card, the Five of Wands. It's like get training or get active. So it could be that you are, you know, training for the next stage of something, investing in qualifications or training. It can be that you are also, you know, seeking out a lot more knowledge in order to look at some of the conflicting viewpoints you have right now. Whatever it is, you're fully invested, and the Ten of Pentacles indicates that you're going to build upon this. Now, if this is financial, I would say circumstances outside of yourself indicates you're attracting more wealth, more security, and the more you know, the more you can build. So, wealth can be knowledge. It can be a powerful tool that helps you master your life or structure your life in a certain way, but doesn't close you off to other opportunities. A lot of you, it can be that you're getting support in some area in order to break free from a cycle. Maybe someone from your family unit is helping you out. If you're a parent, for example, it could be that, the grandparents are going to take care of your child for like an evening so you can go out on a date if you're searching for love, or can be if you're in a partnership. Perhaps they're going to support you by going out with your partner and they take care of your child for an evening, for example. These can be support resources that help you run your life so you can just have a little bit more freedom from the structure, or just have a little moment yourself to protect your inner peace. But it says here legacy, inheritance, and culmination. Now, for some of you, of course, this is your legacy that you leave. It could be that you're really soul searching right now for your purpose and what you align with, what's important to you, and what does it say about you, for example. Also, it can be that you are building a life that you want to be proud of, and you're on course to do that. Of course, there's steps, there's processes, and there's going to be challenges along the way. That's life. But I feel like you came to this lifetime equipped with knowledge, intuition. You're an old soul, and you can overcome any obstacle. But I also feel that if life has been pretty serious over the last couple of years and you're trying to tap more into this sense of fun, challenge yourself to go out there and do more wild and daring things. I mean, a lot of you are rewilding right now, trying to rediscover that spark within your soul. Because when you just have pentacles in a reading, this can be that you're diligent, you're working towards something, things have a structure, you're practical, there's a habit. It can feel like you're locked into a certain structure in order to run your life. And it means that perhaps there's no room for other things right now. And I feel like you're trying to create space or room for something a little bit more, something a little bit more adventurous, perhaps, because suddenly you're landing on the wands, 3 of Wands. So it feels like you're expanding your reach, expanding on opportunities, or expanding your life. Remember, variety is the spice of life. And this card in this position can indicate we'll always have responsibilities. We've always got to show up, pay our bills. We have duties to our family, our soul tribe. Those things are always going to be ever present. But make sure you carve out some space for you to add some new things into your life, or be explorative and open yourself up to new potentials. And I feel that's where you may feel like you're at right now. What else? A lot of you are like, okay, I know what I know. But what else is outside of this? Is there more adventure? Is there more fun? Is there, something I'm missing out on, for example? And I feel a lot of you could be exploring right now to challenge yourself to do something new. And for some of you, you may pay for this or invest in this in some way. I mean, for some of you, it's like, okay, I'm working really hard. There's a structure, and now I want to take a vacation. I just want to relax. I want to be free. So a lot of you could be working towards that right now. But the 3 of Swords is in your hope and fear position. And when it comes to conflict with a person or an argument, this can be resolution, or, it is beyond repair. So it can be that 3 of Wands, you're moving on from something where either a conversation or something happened where the damage is done and you just cannot go back to the way things were. And you're kind of like aligning. You felt scattered in this. You may have got closure on this or tried to distance yourself from this situation, and it took all of your energy and strength to do that. But you had to do it as a self-preservation mode to set yourself free from a structure or a cycle of repeat. And it may have, made you feel a bit lost for a while. But actually, you're doing you now. I feel there's more independence with this card. And of course, not everybody out there is having a conflict or an argument with a person. You have a choice whether you want to resolve this. A lot of you, this is a card of resolution or reconciliation there. So it can be that in your near future, you have an opportunity to do that. But I feel more than anything, there is this energy of maybe distancing yourself from a certain structure in order to focus on your sense of purpose. So for example, if you love spending time with your family, okay, and you're going to work, showing up for yourself, doing all your stuff, maybe there's a personal project that you want to do on the side. And sometimes you're like, okay, I want to spend time with people that I care about because it's important. Building memories, very important. our time on this earth is but a breath. So you want to spend quality time with people that you care about, but also you want to go off and do this thing. And it's hard to find the balance between the two. Anyone that you're kind of like connected to is going to understand that you need some time alone to do your own thing, to be independent, to be free. And I feel, you will carve out that time to be able to do that. But as you can see with this Three of Swords that is in the hope and a fear position, for some of you, you're structuring a certain path to open yourself up to your dreams, and it's hard. It's difficult, and you wish it wasn't so difficult, but that Three of Swords in the resistance position indicates you find a way. It means, you recover a situation. For some of you, if this is something personal that you're going through, this is a card of healing. It is a card of convalescence, of, getting back to best, renewal of your energy, renewal of, getting back involved in the fray of life after a period of healing yourself or taking stock or time out for you. But it says here, heartbreak or suffering or grief. Now, I have to acknowledge for some of you, not all of you, this is only if you have gone through this, not if, you haven't. I want you to be aware it's not something I see coming for you. Just know that this part is only for people who are going through this at this time. For some of you, there is this energy of grieving, of course. So if you have gone through a period where, you're grieving a person who has passed away, who's transitioned there and gone beyond the veil, as it were, and you may be doing a lot of questioning, like why did that happen? A lot of you, it can have made you feel very kind of like protective of your feelings, like you're locked down, there's an inner battle here. That Seven of Cups, it's made you feel completely scattered. There's moments where you feel like numb. There's moments where you feel rage, anger, sadness, bereft, questioning. You're going through it all the stages of it right now. And the Three of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles can indicate some of you are having to sort through inheritance, or the documents, the legalities, the practicalities like probate or, inheritance and all of the stuff. And it can be hard. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. The conflict, because the Five of Wands is there, that can be an inner battle where you may feel that, of course, you have to show up in order to get this sorted legally, for example. And the Three of Wands, for some of you, you may have even been left something in that legacy there, in that inheritance, and it gives you a little bit more freedom. But you'd rather have the person. And, you may be trying to come to grips with the fact that you feel conflicted with that very fact. You'd rather have the person, and yet they have bestowed upon you some really nice things in their legacy, as it were. And you're like, how can I resolve these two things? Like, I'm grateful for the fact that they have left me something in their will, if that is something you're dealing with. But at the same time, you're like, I'd rather have the person. So how can I enjoy this? I feel you may be grieving or lamenting a process of life, and you will find your way towards resolving that within yourself. And actually, this person is going to send you so many signs to say, live, be free, enjoy yourself. They understand the human, earthly bound position to grieve, but they want you to live. They want you to be free. They want you to explore. They want to give you an opportunity to feel lighter. And they know that's a process. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy. You're going to see lots of butterflies, especially white ones, floating all around you, fluttering around. These could even come and land on you or on your car or on the table beside you. This is a sign that they're around. So just be mindful. Also ask for a specific sign from that person. It will be personal to you, and they will give it because they are around you. They are protecting you. The Emperor is a protector. Okay. And it means during quiet time, you're going to be like, you're going to feel their presence. They're going to be there. They're watching, they're proud, they're guiding you, and they're actually opening up opportunities for you to thrive in life. Even if it was a very challenging relationship on the earthly bound position. I feel like, there's a lot of learning that's gone on there, and I feel like they're protecting you. So again, with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy and ground myself, because of course not everybody's dealing with that. Also, for some of you, this can be that you've been grieving your old life or a part of yourself that you feel has changed. But actually, if you knew what was to come, The Three of Wands is like you're living your best life, or your best self is in your future. This is you aligning with someone that is free. This is you having more confidence within yourself. So it can be that, you may have been really strict on yourself when you were younger. And as you mature, you're starting to have more confidence within yourself, or starting to build yourself up rather than tear yourself down with those intrusive thoughts. It can also indicate that whatever you are aspiring to achieve at this moment in time is going to turn out even better than you anticipated. Okay, so you're showing up for yourself, you're being diligent, you're being strict, you're invested, and you've been serious about whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Well, you're going to make it. You're going to get there. You're aligning right now with your heart's desire, and there is going to be an abundance of opportunities before you. That's literally what this card means. And you have the potential card of opportunity. Lots of them. So many opportunities that perhaps you may even feel a little bit conflicted as to which one you choose. But as long as you always tap into your intuition, you'll always tune the right path in accordance with your soul. And interesting that I was given by my guides, tune the right path, because of course you can choose something, but you're tuning into the vibration of what it is that you aspire to achieve. And your future self is living it right now, and will thank you because, or is thanking you because they're already living it. Now you have to match that vibration in order to connect to that version of yourself in the future, because there can be many versions. There's many dimensions, many vibrations. There's a lot to unpick in all of that. Of course, depends on what you believe in, but what my guides have given me, and what scientifically they have been managing to prove at this moment in time. This is an energy of you locking onto the vibration that gives you freedom, that gives you choice, that gives you options, that gives you stability. And it says there, looking ahead, expansion, rapid growth, of course, but this figure is free. There's no detachments there. There's an energy of feeling like you've got this. And the Three of Wands is success through being in the right place at the right time. It is a visionary. It's the plans that you make. Your dreams become reality. Also, this is a healing card. So if you are going through a period of healing, whether that's psychological healing, whether it's physical healing, or whether that is emotional healing in some way, I feel like you are going to connect to the best version of yourself and feel completely aligned and inspired, more energy, more confidence, and you're going to see the world start to deliver rewards back to you for you confronting whatever it is you've been going through that has been challenging, or maybe even that you've challenged yourself, and it just opens up doors for you that helps you, achieve your version of what you see in your future. Okay, so very positive, the journey that you're taking right now, but it may feel like things are challenging, or that you're going through a gear shift. Sometimes when things fall apart or you have a setback, it is here that things align and come back together in the way that will be most beneficial for you. I wouldn't believe that a couple of years ago until I witnessed it myself, where I felt everything was falling away. But suddenly everything came back together, but even better than I ever imagined, because I trusted the process. So we have harmony. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Pisceans? What do they need to be aware of? We have creativity. Double two. Oh, my guide said go one more, so I will. You've got double two, double three. These may be numerical synchronicities that you're going to see over the next coming weeks and months. We've also got 100, inner knowing, and we have clarity. So you're going to make that decision from a point of clarity, but it says harmony here. Okay, that's all about balance. And it says, the harmony that heals you resides in your alignment. So a lot of healing going on. It is a beautiful balance between mind, body, and soul. Tune your heartbeat to the beat of the universe and align it with the highest version of yourself. Good things happen when you take the path of least resistance. I mean, that pretty much sums up your whole reading there, that you're tuning in. I mentioned that. My guides gave me that word instead of choose. We've also got creativity. Your Seven of Cups is all about using your imagination. You're creating the vision of what you aspire to achieve. You're also taking action with that Emperor energy. When you tap into the creative energy within, you unlock the riches of your inner being and bring your vision to life. That's literally, again, what your whole reading was about. Allow your heart to open. Let your emotions flow and give voice to your soul. Embrace the freedom to express yourself fully, for this is where the true magic and creativity are born. So remember, you are the visionary of the zodiac. Allow yourself to explore and your imagination to run wild. We have 100. Now, it says, inner knowing, your heart is a wise and sacred portal to the divine, a place where wisdom and intuition reside. Through stillness and introspection, you can tap into the limitless well of knowingness within you. This connection with your true self will guide you towards your highest path and purpose. And that's your Two of Swords right there, protecting your inner peace, going inwards for answers. I think I mentioned in stillness, wisdom is delivered there. And this is to reach your limitless potential, which is your Three of Wands. There's no limit on a Three of Wands. Three of Wands is like, okay, there's an expanse of opportunity. Seven of Cups is like so many opportunities that perhaps you're going to have to eliminate some and say, actually, that's a great opportunity, but there's something better over here. I'm going to say no here. I'm going to say yes over here. And we've got double six, double six. Okay, and this is a card of clarity. It is time to quieten the inner chatter and seek stillness within. What truly matters will emerge as you stay grounded. Trust that the answers you seek are within you and will reveal themselves in their own time. Only then will you be able to see your path with greater insight and clarity. So as I said, I feel like you're locking into this sense of purpose and what's important to you at this time. And, you know, that quiet time is going to help you really see your vision for the future and lock on to all that you aspire to achieve. And then some is what I'm seeing there, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Oh my gosh. It's interesting because I close my eyes when I pick the trinkets, and of course you can't see that, so you do have to trust me on that, I'm afraid. But another water sign, because I feel a lot of the water signs right now are locked onto this sense of purpose, the vision of the future, trying to kind of align with something that's stable, secure, but also isn't like locked into a structure so you can't be free. I feel like you're trying to aspire to more freedom in something, and the measuring tape is literally coming out as a trinket. Now, you know, when I put my hand in there, it just feels like metal. There's just lots of stuff. But I feel a lot of you are doing some measuring up in your life right now. Does this fit my vision of what I aspire to achieve? You know, does this person like measure up to what they're telling me? Do your goals measure up to what you are wanting to accomplish in your future? Do you need to have bigger goals or, you know, open yourself up to more? Sometimes humans, we accept less than we truly deserve. And I feel looking at your energy, you are tapping into this confidence, not egotism, but confidence where you value yourself in a different way and know that you deserve more. More attention, more time, more truth, more investment. I just feel like you're measuring things in your life because you've set like a standard and you're not going to compromise that standard. So I feel, you know, you're measuring up, weighing things up right now. And that's where I feel a lot of you are in this energy right now. Of course, it may not resonate with everyone. I hope it does resonate with someone out there. But I feel like your plans will measure up and you're going to be very excited about what is ahead for you. You're going to celebrate a lot there. But I will leave it there. I hope something connects in some way. Now, if you'd like to be in with a chance to win a free personal reading from me, all you have to do is put an emoji of a candle in the comments box below. And if you don't have access to an emoji candle, just write the word candle. And of course, my guides will bring me to one subscriber's name and I'll announce the winner's name at the end of September. Okay. Thank you so much, my beautiful Pisceans, and love and light.